Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Maniacal S10 Shopping Garage. I'm Mike. On this morning of Halloween, hope everyone has a safe and blessed Halloween. And we're going to be doing a compression test check on my aveo 1.6 Ecotech. Sorry about the noise in the background of traffic, but we're doing this most of it outside, as you can see. So I'm going to show you what you're going to need to do this with, and let's see if we're going to be impressed or disappointed. Yeah, she's got almost 163,000 on her and purrs like a kitten, but I'm just curious of the compression she still has. I didn't take it when I first bought it 12 years ago, but I want to see what it is now. I had no way of comparing. Sorry about that. And first of all, you go to scrape gasket off of aluminum material for an oil pan, valve cover gasket, so on and so forth. If you don't have, well, I'm going to look into getting it a brass chisel. You don't want to damage the surface or mar the surface up on the aluminum, and a brass chisel will work out really great. Now, here's what you're going to need. We're not going to do the vacuum test today. But here is the compression tester. Inside numbers is kPa times 100. The outside is lbs per square inch, and what we'll be looking at for today. High temp wheel bearing grease for the threads on the spark plug. They're 14 millimeter and it's 18 to 22 Newton meters. And you'll need, of course, Newton meter torque wrench. And in case, which had happened to me some time ago, that the 5/8 fitting here came loose from the 13/16. Nope, if that happens to you, hope it don't. Here's the socket you need to get it out with. 19 millimeter. That's all it takes. So let's get this show on the road. First of all, just the simple stuff. Take that off. Put that up there and disconnect the battery. Well, gonna need my wrench. Now I'm knocking stuff over. That happens. There's the size you need for the terminal. If it'll focus. There we go. Okay. Just undo it. Be on the safe side. Up there. This copper piece didn't come factory, it's not OEM. I did this. And the ground was a bit loose, so I just shimmed it with some copper. Not an issue. And there we are. Now to unhook what I call the coil rail, or a lot of us will call it coil pack. I just call it a rail because look at it. Okay, doing this one-handed is not always the easy way of doing it, but there we go. And this, if I'm not mistaken, is a T40. So let's take a look. T40, here it is, ratchet. Goes the grease again. Yep, T40. I had not quite pinpointed the cause of it. I had a serious misfire on number 2 cylinder. And just in case, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2. And there's to the front of the motor. The diagnostics, I went to the auto store We checked it. Serious misfire number 2. Well, so I don't get too far ahead of myself. These are the plugs I had in it. And I opened the gap up a bit. They're burning good, but the misfire was the plug. Well, I take that back. I put it in with the truck, as you can see down there, and it fired, and I do believe it was the coil rail. I didn't test the coil rail since it's a lifetime warranty. I just swapped it out, but I had to go to the store to do it. Went to the store, took the coil rail off, went inside, swapped it out, came back out to the lot and swapped it out, just so I could keep my warranty. So I believe it was the coil rail, not the plug. So I just swapped out both of them. And the type of plug, 14 millimeter with a 5/8 and a fire ring. The ones with the tapered seat here don't use a fire ring. Okay, now then, give me a second. I'll try to stay out of the way so you can see all of what I'm doing. These plugs are garbage. You can use it for a vacuum plug, which I have done many times over the decades. So, let's finish taking the bolts out. I'll put them right over here. Can you see good so far? I hope. Now she's not burning any oil. She's not leaking at the cylinder. So far the valve stem seals for the intake valve are still holding up good. You just got to wiggle the coil rail out. That's all you can do. And there it is. That's simple. As you can see and tell, no oil anywhere. Not supposed to be. And this was the one on the old one that I had bought new, was misfiring. Got to put my covers on the battery terminals. And let's get ready to take the plugs out. I know it's backwards. Max Specialty socket 5/8. Deep well. Okay. I think what happens when I gap the plugs, excuse me, I gapped them at, it may have caused the coil rail to go out on number 2. But oddly enough, only 1 out of 4 went out. So I could be wrong at that. Now, let's get this turned around. You can see more of what I'm doing. Give me a second. All looks good down in there. And here's a type of plug, OEM replacement. The other plugs I took out is copper core. I tried them. At about 30,000 miles. This is the one that calls for I experiment with the other plugs. Metric thread. And actually, give me a second. You can see a distinct difference in the tip and the way it's designed. I tried. Not everything I tried works out perfect the first time, so I'm not going to put these back in. I went with the OEM replacement. Okay. Now for this. And this little air valve here releases the compression when you take this back out of the cylinder, the spark plug hole, you had no pressure on it. So just disconnect like so, we got it. Won't hurt. Some of your wheel bearing grease on this. And in we go. Starting with the hand, like so. And tug a little, she's in thread. Hang tight, that's all. Plug it back up, let's see what we got. Ground. Positive, and she's a crank. Let's see what we got. And maybe you'll get to see what I don't get to see until after the math, or after the fact. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Hope you can. That's going to be a bit difficult to read, huh? Okay, give me a second. I don't see any bleed off, so let's take a look, see what we got here. This is authentic as I can get. Before I press that valve, I have to do this over again. We are impressed. 250 psi. That is beyond fantastic with 160 almost 1,000 miles on the clock and no engine work done internally. OEM, everything except the external pieces I've done videos on, or parts. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. Now she reads that all the way across the board. That's even more awesome. So give me a sec. The normal compression PSI that I'm used to reading is 100 is borderline rebuild, and 150, 175 with a higher, much higher compression what this motor has. This is a, off the top of my head, 9.5 to 1 or 10.5 to 1. I'm used to being 10.5 or up to 13, 14 or 15 compression ratio on the piston. race car motors, in other words. So 250 psi for a little motor like this is, to me, astronomically fantastic. So let's see what we got with the others. And release. See if this all comes out at once or together or not. And it did. Still has some grease on it. So to number 3 it goes. And we've got it. Alrighty. See if we got number 3. And you'll see what I don't get to see. If you could possibly see that where the needle's at, the same as it was in the one I showed you on number 4. 250. Good, we still have the grease. Oh yeah, by the way, still has the OEM clutch in it. And with this kind of PSI per cylinder so far, I'm hoping, expecting to get 250 to 300,000 miles before a rebuild. And I'm figuring for next year, or the next 2 years, excuse me, I'll be replacing the whole clutch setup. 250 PSI. Last cylinder, number 1. Still good on the grease. So far, going great. Let's see what she reads. Right at 250, we got it. All 4 is phenomenal. I hate to guesstimate, but I am at this point that the PSI has not changed much, if any at all, when it was new 12 years ago. Okie doke. back together. Let's see. Pour grease. Oh yes. I know it's gonna be a bit backwards. Hold on a second. Let me get this turned around for you. Give me a second. Okay. There you are. And that's what the grease looks like. So let's get her back together. Okay. Little dab of do you. Number 4 first. That's just what I picked up. There we go. And I'll do just a hand tight first. I would have done a printout sheet with the code on it, but unfortunately the stores don't do that anymore. It's right on the scan tool. I didn't write it down, but once you get a miss and you take it to the store, find the code. I sincerely apologize for that. I jumped the gun when I found out what the problem was for sure and didn't write that down. Shame on me. And if I remember correctly, it didn't read the code anyway. But if it did, I'd jumped ahead of the gun, like putting the cart before the horse, and didn't write it down. I didn't memorize it either. Eventually I'll get me a scan tool. See if I go 60, 70,000 on this setup versus 30. Now we're done with this for now, or maybe altogether. Okay, 18 to 22 Newton meters. (160 inch-pounds). I'll just take that tight all at one time. I just got to get this up to it. And since I already had them installed, I will take it 1/8 to 1/4 more turn. There we go. Depends on how tight she gets and whatever she clicks. There she is. No need to take it an extra 1/8 or 1/4. There she is. Always back off your torque wrench. Save the spring pressure. Anyone who knows about torque wrench will tell you this. That is, if you do it. I got lucky, got this at the flea market, and it was already zeroed out. That's a snap-on. Like 7 years ago, at the Treasure Isle flea market, I think it was $10 for this. Okay. Now then, let's see. We're done with the grease and the applicator. There we go. You hear that? Dead blow hammer. Just takes a couple taps, get it seated. Didn't hurt anything. I'm going to snug these bolts down and then torque them in. Once you pretty much bottom it out, okay. I'm going to do this 80 inch-pounds, which is not much. They torque in the same as the external oil cooler. I just rounded off at 80 versus 79. Not going to hurt. See what we got. That's it. That's it. Back it off, zero it out. 90% of our project here, job is done. Voila. There's two vacuum ports on this intake that I did a video on previously. There's one for the brakes here and one here for the valve. So I'm teeing it off so I can get the vacuum gauge to work. So that'll be a hopefully near future video. Okay, let's hook up the wires to this thing. Ta-da! All looks good. Ground. Positive. Oh yeah, wrench. Good. And good. That should do it. Let's see what we got. Like you should be. Give me a second. Runs like you should, just like off the showroom floor. Yes, indeed. We're 31 minutes into this. Not too bad. Everything's battened down, locked down, tightened up, and purrs like a brand new one. She's got 162,375 on the clock and still purrs like this. Regular PMing and driving like you should and not dogging the motors, and you get a good one to begin with. Oil changes, I've gone full synthetic since almost 63,000 miles ago. And look at this. Listen to her. Look at her. Sweet. Yes, indeed. Okay, now back to me. Okay. I appreciate all my subscribers and new subscribers. Thank you all so much for tuning in, checking in, see what's going on. And like, subscribe. If you haven't already, please do so. Hope this is educational, informational, and saves you time and money. And once again, have a safe and blessed, I keep on saying Thanksgiving, Halloween night. This is Halloween morning. On that note, Michael S10 signing off. Catch up to me on the next one. Thank you so much.